In October, the Columbans in Australia and New Zealand published the centennial issue of the Far East magazine. For 100 years, it has invited people into the lives of those among whom missionaries live and work through its stories of culture, politics, food, commerce, and education, as well as the growth of faith communities and the people who embrace them. In early days, these stories came from China, then later from across Asia, South America, and the Pacific. They give an insight into the everyday lives of people in circumstances vastly different from our own. There are stories of the struggle with poverty, oppression, and sickness, as well as celebrations, festivals, and triumphs. They are all stories of faith. Faith in God and faith in neighbour, and trust in God and love of God's work of creation. We spoke with 4 people who have followed the work of the Columban Society through the pages of the Far East over many years. Here we present their stories.
What I enjoyed about the stories is the human interest nature of our faith as it's sort of taken around the world. And I suppose it's Jesus' message is always being to the poorest and the most disadvantaged. And I think I find the Columbans inspiring in that regard, because they work with the most disadvantaged. And it must take a lot of, just fantastic courage and fortitude to continue to do those things.
My first memories go back to my early days in primary school in a little country town in Victoria, where we had the mite boxes. And we mightn't have had much of this world's goods, but we always had a penny for the mite boxes. And my other memory is at my grandma's reading Mickey Daly's diary. And we hung our hats on that every time the Far East came out. I think they were the beginnings of our association with Columbans and the Far East. And the other continuing one is the Columban calendar. I think my memories go right back to primary school days of having a Columban calendar in our home and in the classroom. And I thank you for that, because that's still with us today. I want to congratulate the Columbans for the movement they have towards ecology, spirituality of the earth, and you are always grounded in earth care, but you're also grounded in poverty of peoples. And your ministry and mission has been to the poorest peoples.
I love to read a Far East magazine because I know where they are published, and I know how many people involved in publishing it. And, I'm interested in knowing the Columban missionaries' current works in other countries. And I love to read especially articles from Japan, Philippines, and Oceania. And, through the magazine, many diverse articles remind me the connection with the so many Columban fathers who involved me and gave me huge influence in my life and my family.
What are your earliest memories of reading the Far East magazine, or having a relationship even with the Far East magazine?
Well, I was trying to think how far back it really is, and I think I probably was a toddler, because my father was a good St Vincent de Paul man in Punchbowl, in the western suburbs of Sydney, and he used to bring it home. So the family used to sit around and just read it. They just loved the stories and hearing about far off places, and priests who were really down to earth and doing something.
What are the kind of articles in the Far East magazine that you appreciate or find inspiring or helpful?
I think it's just, I really appreciate hearing of the work that you are doing and continue to do, and the long haul in many places you have been, in very dangerous places as well, and how much the people really appreciate it. I don't think I've ever seen that change. I think the love and appreciation that people have for the Columban priests because they're there in the mud with them.